Hey there! In this video, I'll be talking about how you can reduce the regens in your truck that is equipped with a DPF and EGR and SCR. I had a couple folks reach out to me wondering if they could do that with cold air intakes or DPF back exhausts and how they could keep their truck from regenning. Like, I think one guy even said, every 150 to 200 miles. When it comes to big diesel trucks that have DPFs, the more expensive way to reduce regens is to actually have your DPF removed and professionally cleaned. So there are services in most areas where you can bring them a DPF and they either do a combination of superheating it, basically baking it in an oven and treating it with chemicals to remove the ash that builds up from your oil, or any oil for that matter that gets in there, and then the soot that also gets turned to ash through the regen process that collects in your DPF. And obviously it will also remove soot. So if you're having trouble with regens and you really want the most effective way to fix that issue, the best thing for you to do is really have it professionally cleaned. Now, that can cost upwards of $700, and if you're not planning on sitting and idling the truck, basically not using it for while it's being cleaned. Those of you that are wondering, hey, if I do a cold air intake and a DPF back exhaust, will that reduce my regens? And it may help, but I would not spend the money for those to reduce regens. They don't really influence how much the truck is regenning. They do and will help combustion a little bit. Like a DPF bag, I guess if you did a 5-inch, it gets rid of the resonator and some of the restriction points in the stock exhaust. And then if you're doing a cold air intake, you're getting more air, better quality air into the combustion chamber. So I don't know. I guess, again, I wouldn't do it to reduce regens, though. In my opinion, that would be a huge waste of money. There are several options in the market for a fuel treatment that will help you reduce regens. Archoil is a sponsor of this channel, so you can use the code PSM10 to get 10% off your order, but there are a bunch of other options. Rizlone, I believe is how you say it, makes one. But if you just go on Amazon and type in like DPF cleaners, you'll find a lot. Archoil is the top one though, and that's why I partner with them for the channel. But essentially you want something that is high-powered detergents that's going to target those carbon deposits in the DPF. So this will reduce regen. Typically, I treat with this every 5,000 miles, and it will keep my regens down to about every 350 to 400 miles if I'm doing highway driving. So as you can imagine, if you're someone who is like regenning every 150 miles, you run this, if it gets you up to 400-mile intervals, especially if you're doing highway driving, that's a lot of fuel saving. I really recommend this product, but I would just honestly use something. Like, try something. If you don't like my product plug, don't use this. Go find another product that will work for you, that you think works. Try it. I'm telling you, I've tried several products. This is the best one, but they all work and will all help reduce regens in these trucks. These trucks need to be cleaned by some kind of detergent. So now the way this all works is when you come up to the truck, you open the fuel door, take your fuel cap out, and you dump that whole bottle in. Now, what I try to do when I'm treating with this is I will plan to treat when I know I'm going to do a bunch of highway driving, and I've found if I can get the truck to go through a regen cycle with the treatment in the tank, it will clean it even better than if I didn't go through a regen. Because when your truck goes through a regen, it's injecting fuel to help heat the DPF and burn it. And so you're also injecting the cleaner, and so getting the detergents into the DPF will really help to reduce your regens. So I would also recommend this for other trucks. So if you have a Cummins or you have a Duramax, run a detergent like Archoil through your fuel system every 5,000 miles. Let it clean the DPF. I guarantee it will help. My truck was regenning all the time before I started using these cleaners, and it really helped. So give them a try. They will definitely help your truck run better and smoother. It will also help clean the DPF and the EGR. And I think it goes without saying, I know someone's gonna say it, you could just delete your truck. And obviously, like, that is an option, although it is federally illegal, so I definitely wouldn't recommend that unless you're in Canada. Seriously, like, these are the two main options for people who have to run a DPF. You know, maybe you run a business and you don't want to risk getting a fine from the EPA. So, you know, do the easy one. Try to treat your DPF. If you have a truck that's over like 250 or 300K on the DPF, maybe consider going to get it professionally cleaned. But otherwise, just run a fuel system cleaner. Make sure it says on the bottle that it will target DPF deposits, and you should be good to go. That's going to do it for me. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful to you, and we'll see you next time here on Power Stroke Maintenance. Cheers.